So, a stellar performance by the Toronto Raptors as they just crush the Portland Trailblazers 130-105. And this game is that much more impressive because you just came off a game where you lost pretty bad and you should have had that game. And it was an emotional loss in Washington. You come in, you fly in, you get in about 2 o'clock in the morning. You had a game that night and you come out flying. The reason I say flying, the Raptors, 37-18 lead after the first quarter. The offense exploding. The defense was unbelievable. And, things are looking great after the first quarter. You look at the second quarter, though, they made a big push early with Damian Lillard and obviously CJ McCollum leading the way. But the bench was able to hold their spot. Raptors won that quarter 37-34, and you are up by 22 at the half. But it's what you do in the second half that really matters. Now, they were up 20. They won the third quarter 28-27. But the Raptors won the fourth quarter 29-25, and they had a big enough lead that they didn't get in too big of a hole. They made one big run, but the Raptors countered that with a huge run of their own, courtesy of back-to-back threes from Kyle Lowry. And speaking of Kyle Lowry, him and DeMar DeRozan, we talked about it in the last video, how they were having tough nights, and obviously late in the game, Kyle missing the free throws, DeMar missed a free throw, and it was just tough to watch. But today, your All-Stars were your All-Stars. Kyle Lowry in 26 minutes, 15 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 5 of 13 shooting, and 2 of 6 from 3. But he did a lot of other things to help this team win. And DeMar DeRozan, guys, we've talked about his three-point shooting, how he's struggled. We've talked about his shot in general from the field. It has struggled hard. However, in 30 minutes of work, did not touch the court in the fourth quarter. 35 points, 2 boards, 3 assists, 11 of 22 shooting, 50%. 7 of 8 from the line, and 6 of 10 from 3. And the big number I like is this one right here. Plus 24 when DeMar DeRozan was on the floor. And you look at this game and you're like, well, you don't feed the ball to JV late in the third and fourth quarter. Again, I understand that. However, other guys are hot. And JV, yes, 18 points, 8 boards, knocking down a couple threes. It's just another day in the office for JV. He was only 7 of 15 shooting for 46%. So it's not like this guy was 9 of 10 or, any big numbers that you just got to keep feeding it to him. He was okay. But he did a good job defensively, I thought. JV has just done a great job as of late. And, has he got 12 points a game? 11.9 points per game. The rebounds have been down in the last 2 games. However, he has still been a real big force in the offense. And that's big. If he can keep, continuing to get better on the defensive end, that's huge. Because we know what he can do offensively. And adding a three-pointer to his game, as we saw again today, it's the new NBA. Big shoot threes. JV. He is adjusted. So all those people talking about how he's the old NBA and to trade him away. Are we happy we didn't trade him now? Because he's adjusted. And he looks very good. Speaking of people who look very good, Fred VanVleet, my man, welcome back. Holy smokes. Freddie VanVleet with 16 points off the bench, 5 boards, 6 of 12 shooting, 3 of 5 from 3, plus 11 when he was on the floor. Enough said. The guy is unbelievable. Takes one day off because obviously he needed to because of his family, and it was on the road, and we were obviously going to play a back-to-back and come back home for the second half. So that's that. You wanted him to play today. You did, and the bench just looked different. The ball moving like crazy. Everyone's getting good looks and knocking their shots down. Great to see Pascal Siakam with 13 points and also knocked down to 3, 4 of 4 from the line, 4 of 8 shooting, plus 19 on the floor. Pirtle, only 4 points, 5 boards, however, plus 15 on the floor. Norman Powell, great to see him in limited 19 minutes. He had 11 points and 3 assists, 5 of 7 shooting, and the 1 3 he took, he knocked it down. I think Norman Powell, since that Minnesota game, is really starting to find his legs again. He is not taking stupid shots. And I think that's the key. When he knows his shot's not there, he kicks it to somebody else. He knows his shots will be there. And if he can knock his shots down, he'll be unbelievable. And you saw it again today. He got great looks, knocked them down. When he didn't have a good look, he swung it for somebody else. Like Fred VanVleet. Like Pascal Siakam. You know, that's it. The bench did their job today. That's the bottom line. They murdered. I think at one point it was 40-11 of bench points for the Raptors compared to the Trailblazers. I think that's where the Raptors destroy Portland, is on the bench. You know, you look at Lillard and McCollum, and you can throw in Nurkic as well. He had 20 points in this game. But other than CJ McCollum and Lillard, sure, let's throw Nurkic in there as well. Who else do they got? I mean, their bench consists of Shabazz Napier, who had 1 point in 21 minutes. Connaughton, who had 6 points in 15. Ed Davis with 6 and 12. Vonleh with 4 points. Myers Leonard with 7, but those were all in the last dying minutes where we were already throttling them. You know, other than McCollum with 21, Lillard with 32, Nurkic with 20. Their other starters, Evan Turner gave them 2, and Aminu gave them 5. And you look at the Raptors bench, you know, you got to say Freddie VanVleet with 16, Siakam with 13. You already outscored almost all their starters that you don't call Nurkic, McCollum, and Lillard, with those two guys. You know, and then you also throw in Serge Ibaka into the mix. He only had 7 points, 5 boards. He was 3 of 6 shooting, 1 of 3 from 3, plus 9 when he was on the floor. I'm not going to complain. The one thing we're a little wary about, I think, at the end of the game, seeing OG Anunoby go down and then go to the dressing room, but I think that was a good call. Safety thing, there's only 30-something odd seconds left. You're up by a ton, whatever. Get him checked out, make sure he's okay. I think he'll be okay. But there's always that wary feeling. Obviously, he had that injury last year, and it took him a long time to recover from that. And he's looked great, but you never know. So hopefully everything's good with him. The Raptors play one of their best games of the season, in my eyes, after an awful one last night. But that's what good teams find a way to do. When we talk about this team needing something else, and do I still see? I flip back and forth because then I see a game like this and I'm like, this team's great. And then they play like they did yesterday. I'm like, this team's awful. Make up your mind, Raptors. Stop confusing us and these mixed feelings. It's crazy. But they looked great on the defensive end. They were active. The ball humming like crazy. You look at this. The Raptors shoot 46% from the field. However, and they shoot 51%. But you chuck up, get this, 26 more shots. Where does that come from? It comes from the rebounds. Raptors out-rebound them 42-36. And look at this, guys. We talked about yesterday about we need to trade for a guy who gets great on the offensive glass. The Raptors out-rebounded on the offensive glass the Portland Trailblazers, if that makes any sense what I just said, 17-4. Did I watch the Raptors tonight on the offensive glass, or was that somebody else? Pirtle was active. JV was all over the place. I mean, they did an absolutely unbelievable job. But you got to be consistent with it. 21 assists. There's the magic number. You talk about threes, you know, you got to see that 10-plus threes. Well, the Raptors had 19 in this game, a season high. A franchise record is 21, but they were 19 of 40 for 48%. Free throw percentage, 90%. 19 of 21. That's much better than the last night. But that game's over and done with. It doesn't really matter. That's that. The team played well. They only turned the ball over 6 times. Look, it was a clean game. You crushed a team that you should beat. Not saying you should have crushed them, but the Raptors did just that. All right, so you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. You guys enjoyed this video, and boy, if you guys enjoyed this game, hey, smack that like button. I do appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button if you guys have not already. Comment down below. What did you guys think of this game? Who's your player of the game? Would you give it to JV with the big start? Would you give it to DeMar DeRozan? Would you give it to Freddie VanVleet off the bench? Who would you give it to? I would got to say DeMar because he was electric tonight. And And, okay, Boston ended up beating Atlanta, so that's that. We'll talk to you guys Sunday. It'll be Sunday. Well, you know what? Depending on the weather or something, I was going to go see my girlfriend, but if the weather is all wonky like it's supposed to be, we're going to have to wait and see. But if the weather's okay, that video will be out to you guys later on Sunday night. All right? If not, even if the weather is garbage, then I'll talk to you guys post-game. Raptors, Grizzlies. It's a noon tip-off. Raptors look to win 2 in a row. They have a little homestand here. Let's get some wins under our belt and keep it rolling. Let's play another game like we did tonight against the Memphis Grizzlies on Sunday. All right? So we'll talk to you guys. It'll be tomorrow Leafs edition as they're at TD Garden taking on the Boston Bruins. A possible round 1 preview? Well, we'll talk to you guys post-game then, hoping for some good results for the Buds. And like I said, we'll talk to you guys Sunday afternoon or evening, depending on the weather. Raptors, Grizzlies at the Air Canada Center. Noon tip-off. We'll talk to you guys then.